Welcome to Coimbra. This historic university city used to be the capital of Portugal and is full of fascinating places to visit. Let's take a look at the top 10. Coimbra lies roughly halfway between the more famous cities of Lisbon and Porto, and most people skip it to concentrate on those more famous places, but you really shouldn't. Coimbra is the fourth largest city in Portugal with a population of about 143,000 people. Its history dates back to Roman times when it was an important settlement, and then later it was the capital of Portugal between 1131 and 1255, and the birthplace of many kings. If that wasn't enough, the city then evolved into a cultural centre and has one of the oldest universities in the world. Perhaps the biggest bonus for Coimbra is just how quiet it is, especially compared to Lisbon and Porto, which we also visited, both of which were uncomfortably overcrowded with tourists. Coimbra, on the other hand, is absolute bliss. Today, Coimbra is a thriving historic city that is jam-packed with fascinating sights to see, so why would you want to skip it? Here are 10 reasons why you should not miss Coimbra. Let's start at the top of the city with a historic university, which was originally founded in Lisbon in 1290 before transferring to Coimbra in 1537, making it one of the oldest universities in the world. It is located in a former medieval palace, and the overall site is exceptional with a mixture of architectural styles. It is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Centered around the main square on the top of the hill, this location also has epic views over the city and river beyond. The university is split into several sites, many of which can be visited. One of the most famous parts is the library, the Biblioteca Joanina. This stunning Baroque building was constructed between 1717 and 1728. It has a vast collection of documents, many of which are extremely old and extremely rare. You will need to book a specific time slot to visit the interior. And as cameras were not allowed, I can't show you the inside, but I can assure you it's one of the most lavishly decorated libraries in the world and definitely worth visiting. Next to the library is a small chapel, which although small is also wonderfully decorated, especially its majestic Baroque organ. The main building, which was formerly a royal palace, can also be visited and is full of fascinating historic rooms, such as the Great Hall of Acts, which was originally the throne room of the kings of Portugal and is today the main hall of the university. There is also the private examination room with its frescoed ceiling and portraits, as well as a balcony that gives great views over the city. And that's not all. A few minutes walk away you can also visit the Cabinet of Curiosities and also the chemistry lab, which has many interesting interactive exhibitions. Located among the university buildings is the new cathedral. There is also an old cathedral that we will visit later. The new cathedral was originally a Jesuit church until that order was banned from Portugal, thus freeing up this large and spacious building. Construction started in 1598 and finished in the 17th century. The lower part of the facade is Mannerist in style with its straight lines, but these flow into the Baroque upper section with its wonderful curves and decorations. Here is the nave with its large barrel-vaulted ceiling. The space is adorned with highly decorated gilt wood altarpieces that will dazzle you with their details. Almost next door to the new cathedral is the National Museum of Machado de Castro. This is, in my opinion, one of the best museums I've ever visited. Not only was I stunned by its amazing collection of artifacts, but it was made all the better by the fact there was almost no one else here when I visited. The museum first opened in 1913 and is housed in a former bishop's palace, which was originally a medieval building that was constructed over the old Roman Forum. The highlight of the museum is the huge underground Roman Crypta Porticus, which consists of a series of vaulted spaces that can be explored. These were originally underneath the forum of the ancient Roman settlement of Armenium. Above these, the rest of the museum's collection is housed over several floors. ranging from ancient artifacts, medieval masterpieces, and even sections of entire buildings. There is far too much to talk about, so here are some highlights. Heading downhill from the museum, we find the old cathedral. This sturdy-looking Romanesque building was constructed in the 12th century and is one of the best preserved Romanesque buildings in Portugal. The larger-than-expected nave with its round arches and heavy piers is brilliantly preserved and feels much bigger than you expect. The site also contains an exquisite Gothic cloister that can be walked around. It's well worth the admission price, and I loved every minute exploring this place. Nearby is another amazing church and former monastery, the Church of Santa Cruz, or Monastery of the Holy Cross. This former monastery was founded in 1131, but not much remains of the original building. The current building dates mostly from the 16th century. It is the burial place of the first two kings of Portugal, whose tombs can still be seen. They are superbly decorated with amazing statues and carvings. Due to its importance as a royal church, the rest of the site was highly decorated by many famous architects and artists. Here you can see the nave with its lovely tiled walls. The complex also contains another fine Gothic cloister, as well as other rooms and chapels to explore. Now we've seen some of the main attractions of Coimbra, it's time to explore the main Old Town area, with its steep streets and cobbled alleys, Moorish gates, shops and restaurants. Here are some of the highlights of the Old Town. No great city is complete without a great park, and Coimbra has a fantastic one to explore with its botanical gardens. These exotic gardens are part of the University's Natural History faculty. They are free to enter and roam around. The gardens have thousands of different plants from all over the world, including many rare and exotic species. There is also a greenhouse dating from the 1850s, as well as ponds and a fountain. It's really lush, you should definitely go. There is also this awesome tree with amazing gnarly roots. Running alongside the park is the old aqueduct that dates from 1570 and was built to replace an even older Roman one. Coimbra sits on the Mondego River, which has paths and promenades to walk along on both sides. I recommend crossing over the main bridge and exploring both directions for some really great views of the city. This is an especially great spot to watch day turn to night. Near to the river we find another former monastery, but this time it's a ruined one, the Monastery of Old St. Clare, or Mosteiro de Santa Clara-a-Velha. I probably horribly pronounced that. Apologies to any Portuguese speakers. Built in the 14th century, this Gothic site became a retreat for Queen Isabella of Portugal, the wife of King Denis. She was buried on the site and was later canonised and became a saint. The monastery can be entered via a visitor centre, which is accessed at the opposite end of the site, with information and artefacts to explore, as well as access into the actual ruins. However, the church itself was closed for restoration when I visited, so this is as close as I got. The church fell into ruin in the 16th century when it was abandoned due to frequent flooding and the important tombs were transferred up the hill to the newer monastery that we will visit next. The final location of our top 10 sits on the hill just above the ruins, the monastery of Santa Clara-a-Nova, or New St. Clare. It was constructed in the 17th and 18th centuries and can be visited for a small fee. The main church is exquisitely decorated with many stunning gold and silver altars, the main feature being the lavish main altarpiece that incorporates the tomb of Saint Isabel. The complex also contains yet another amazing cloister to explore, and again we were incredibly lucky to visit this amazing place when there were no other visitors. Just outside is an open courtyard where you can admire these amazing views over the city, which is also a good place to end this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I hope to see you in another video. Bye for now.